There's this one word that I'm going to share with everyone that you all know what it is, but I'm going to give some examples on how powerful it is. It's kind of like a super tool in your teacher management toolbox, if you will. And once I go into the different examples, I think you'll understand why. And this video is really for anyone that might be stressed with teaching or has dealt with stress, new teachers, because it's not old news that teaching, especially in 2026, can get really stressful fast. Our cognitive load is high, we're multitasking, many different personalities in the room, and I could keep speaking about it. And I wanted to just mention, it's probably not you when it comes to certain situations in the classroom, especially defiancy and disrespect. That has increased so much since I've been teaching for the 34 years. And when I say this, I don't really just mean my school. I mean the readings I do, the teachers I talk to, from online and in person, from the state I live in, from another state I used to live in, throughout the country. And I don't think it's you. I really think it's a combination of a perfect storm. I think from crazy phone use and everyone wants their voice and they throw their opinions down. Of course, some weren't really, some people, students were not socialized during the pandemic. It's really mixed. I do think there's a good amount of imprinting going on. There are a lot of students that have phones where they can go online and see how a class is recording a teacher and how the teacher is flipping out. And it's a really big hot mess. So I want to talk about using this word and how it can be to your benefit in more ways than one. It's really tricky to sometimes separate the work we do and then just apply logic. All right, so the word, you've heard it, you've probably been told in college, but I don't think they've touched upon a lot of things that us teachers have seen in the trenches, and that is communication. And I'm going to give you an example right away. Let's say you get an email from a parent and they're not happy because you gave a student a detention or their grade's low. It doesn't matter. And I want a side note, I look at parents as teams, as a group effort. It's really important. They get bad raps and it's stressful for them too. So the first thing I do is I digest the email. I kind of see what angle it's coming from. And if it's kind of like pointing and I've made the mistake and all that, I usually just take a deep breath and I go, all right, let's see how we can work through this. The first thing I do, it's almost like a candid statement. I will say, thank you for your communications. Because now we're in a situation where no one's going to be plotting stories, no one's going to be talking about situations and making them worse. We have correspondence, whether it's an email, phone, right? It's a very important thing to communicate right away. Thank you for your communications. And then you can mention, obviously, everyone's taken a look at my policy, and this is what I have been trying to do, but I want to set your child up for success. So maybe we can have a quick phone call, or maybe we can try something else. A lot of people come across intense and on the offensive because they might have had a bad situation with a previous teacher, or they're having a bad day like us. And so the key words are here when you communicate is thank you for communicating. And then also, I want to set your child up for success. Do you know how important that is? That's showing that you want to be on the same team. And it also is kind of a documentation that you're doing your part. That is one example of communication. The other one is you need to be the model. As the teacher, you need to be respectful. And if tension arises in the room, you have to think about how you want to communicate that. You could say, all right, so things are a little crazy right now. I'm feeling pretty frustrated. I know I might come across like monotone or robotic. It's taken years for me to get to this point. And when there's times, I've had situations where things are just a little too extra goofy, I will say to the students, I'm just going to leave the doors open. I'm going to walk 10 feet back. I'm going to watch all of you, but I'm just going to breathe. So, that might seem like not a big deal, but leaving the situation for whatever seconds and then being quiet about it and breathing and giving yourself, you're modeling wellness, You're communicating with them that you're not happy with this, but this is how you're going to deal with it. That is super important. And I actually had a situation where I was teaching and I did that, and then I dug a little deeper and I had each student write a half page on why I'm asking you to write about what respect means. And please disclose what you think disrespectful was in this situation. And the answers were mixed a bit, but I also noticed many students were saying, I'm really happy on how you handled it, and you were very calm, and you addressed the students in a calm way. That's super important. Another one here on my notes, really important. It's more than okay to say, I don't like how I communicated that. Let's try it again. Does that make sense? Or for teachers who are teaching younger grades, if you're going to communicate directions, don't just expect that you say, let's do page 13, and that's it. You can say, wait, did I say page 13 or 14? Raise your hand. You've got to get engagement. You've got to get the brains firing, because we're working with students who could be hungry, they could be tired, they just might not want to be there right now. So that re-communication is also like an efficiency, effectiveness kind of idea. Another one would be, like I said, stay calm when tension arises. And always check understandings instead of assuming the message was received. Always re-communicate. Take care. I'll see everyone soon. Bye-bye.